Hello and great day. Thank you for visiting my site. My name is Sean Taylor, innovator. There is none greater. I'm here today to tell you that today is a day for change. Yesterday is gone, tomorrow is not promised, so we need to live our best lives today. You see, once you develop what you do well and master yourself, your gifts and your talents will take you places that will amaze you. I remember a quote by Les Brown that said, "When life knocks you down, be sure to land on your back, because if you can look up, then you can get up." You see, it's not about how many times you've been knocked down in life that counts. It's about how many times you get back up. You see, this is a very simple analogy. If you're willing to rise up just one more time than you have been knocked down, then the key to your success is inevitable. I remember leaving my job back in 2000 at General Motors. I left my job to pursue my vision of becoming an entrepreneur and motivational speaker. All I had was a hope and a dream with no guarantee. But the one thing I knew for certain, the one place where my heart was at, the one thing that I would bank on or put my money on, or the one guarantee that I knew was that I knew that I wanted to motivate people and I wanted to empower leaders. And so I left my job, I resigned, and I took action. And with all the roadblocks and negativity, the obstacles, everything that came up in my life, in my way, naysayers who were telling me that I couldn't do it, I shouldn't do it, and even though I doubted myself at times, I thank God that I never stopped and I never quit, because life has never been the same since. You see, going through the obstacles, the roadblocks, and trying to separate myself from the naysayers, it taught me a lot. I used to think that the roadblocks were put in place to stop me from pursuing my dreams or goals. But I realized that they weren't there to stop me. They were there to remind me of how bad that I wanted my goals and my dreams to come to pass. And what was I willing to do? To what extent was I willing to go to make my dreams and my goals and my desires and my ideas come to pass, come to flourishing, to grow? And so once I realized that, then that's when the growing process started for me. The learning process started for me. And you know what? The best thing about the journey is that I have met some amazing people along the way. You see, going through my journey, I realized that you can become anything that you want to become. You can do anything that you want to do as long as you're willing to call forth the leader in you. All you have to do is follow these three steps. The first step is choosing. You must choose to go after your dreams. And then you must get clear on your vision. And most importantly, you must take action. You see, the world is filled with dreamers, but we have a shortage of action takers. We have a shortage of risk takers. I remember another quote by Les Brown that said, "If you're not willing to risk, you're not willing to grow. If you're not willing to grow, you're not willing to be happy." And I don't know about you, but I am so willing to be happy. And the one way that I know for certain is to be happy is to find what you love to do. Find your niche. Find that thing that defines you. I remember another quote that's very brilliant that said, "Dreamers of the night wait to find vanity, but dreamers of the day are dangerous because they go through life with their eyes wide open to make their dreams a reality." Follow your dreams. Follow your heart. What is it? What is your purpose for being here on earth? You need to find that. You need to understand that. You need to go after it as if your whole life depends on it. Why? Because it does. You see, all of us, whether we know it or not, want to be the best that we can be. But all too often, in fact, we become mired in mediocrity. Our choices seem to be overwhelming. We begin suffering from what they call analysis paralysis. We become nostalgic based on big choices or decisions that have been sprung upon us. But I want you to know, I want you to understand, and I want you to repeat this. Yes, you, while you're sitting right there, I want you to repeat this to yourself. That all successful people are faithful in the small things. That's right, there is power in taking the small steps. And the first step right now, if you have an event, if you have a gathering, if you're putting something together and you need a great speaker, someone who can resonate, someone who can vibe, someone who understands each and every issue and situation that people have been through. If you're looking for a motivational speaker that's dynamic, that's really ready to roll up his sleeves and get down and dirty to get the end result that's needed so everyone leaves happy, then I'll be more than willing to be that guy for you.
Fear.
There are three main fears that hinder people from becoming what they want to become and doing what it is they want to do. Those three fears are the fear of change, the fear of criticism, the fear of failure. Before I start, let me tell you what fear is. Fear is false evidence appearing real. People are afraid of change. They become complacent. They grab hold of the old saying, if it's not broke, don't fix it. What we need to realize is that the world is constructed of change. Everything changes. So if you want to keep everything the same within your cycle or circle, as the world turns and new generations erupt and new concepts take place, you will lose knowledge and time on the new ways of living. You will be outdated. If you're one of these people who still don't know how to operate a computer, learn. This is the new way of life. This is how business is being done. If you're one of these people who don't own a credit card, get at least one. Not to use for debt, but because it's the way of living in the 21st century. If you're one of these people who don't have a bank account, still putting your money under the bed or in a cookie jar, open an account. This is the way things are being done. Without doing all three of these steps each day that passes you, you are losing ground, and sometimes it's not as easy to catch up when you're so far behind. The reasonable person adapts themselves to the world. The unreasonable one persists in trying to adapt the world to them. Therefore, all progress depends on an unreasonable person. The fear of criticism robs you of your initiative and destroys your imagination. When you fear the criticism of others, your desire for change is stabilized and you remain stuck in the very conditions you want to change. We must first understand that all criticism isn't bad or harmful. Then we must see who the criticism is coming from. Is it coming from someone who has achieved what it is we are trying to achieve, or otherwise successful and fulfilled in their endeavors? Or is it someone who is unsuccessful in their attempts to be successful? If it is constructive criticism, take it for what it's worth and apply it to the areas that you feel need to be applied to. And if it's jealousy or negative, just disregard it and move on. The best way to color, location, movement, and any other characteristics that can be perceived.